I meant to write this down.
Okay, I'm live.
I sealed my ballots.
All right. So,
I don't know why it's not
she's
showing.
there. You see her?
Yes. Yes.
Stupid. Stupid, stupid. Stupid. Both of you. Stupid. I know it's stupid. You both are. I know, 16-year-old. True.
I didn't really know if he was waving at me or not.
Set that there. We have about a 10-second delay, Joyce.
She's going to see. It's about a 10-second delay. Split screen is one way.
Oscar?
Hey,
Okay, click on her again. She's back. Add her to the stream.
hi, Jackie. How are you? Nice to put a face to the name.
Could you call me if you get through your regular meeting?
What's she holding now?
She has a sign that says aye. She has to vote.
Oh, okay.
Okay, how about
They already on there.
how about if we stick you in before we.
What do we got going on here?
Huh?
Is this your seat?
I don't know. You can do whatever you want to switch with me. That's fine.
I'm gonna put a line here. Put in Jackie.
Okay, Joyce, we
Guess they want
see
me to
you.
take a
I don't know
nap.
if you can see your. No, you can't see yourself. And we saw your sign.
She's Virgo, I think.
Oh, thank you.
Oh man, I didn't grab my pen. Dang.
They just stuck an R on the end of it. Did you make the name tag?
Bob. Capricorn.
So the split screen is a little complicated.
So LW, what do you want me to do with any vocal comments she makes?
If you can answer them, that'd be fine. If not, no problem. They just have to understand that.
I was speaking specifically of Joyce.
Oh, if you see hers to relay it, then. Okay. I think that'll put everybody in the screen.
Okay. Can't take notes without a pen. Hey, Mrs. Secretary.
Yes, your packet. On your minutes, on the last page of the sticky, I've added
You know what?
approved by.
Just smart. I just started right now. You know what? That was in the box. This was in my case, just in a different spot. I found it.
Well, I'd let you borrow mine, but
Good afternoon, sir. I'm fine. How are you?
I can have welcome back.
Thank you.
oh, well, hello.
Hello, Tammy. How you doing?
I almost forgot what you look like. What happened to my hair? It was just up here.
Okay, we are recording. And I'll go ahead and turn this one on. Power on. And start recording.
I told Kathy, I said, I knew you felt that way about me, but I appreciate you letting everybody else know what a treasure I am. She forgot the R on the end of it.
She says I'm a treasure. I said, yes, you are. Oh.
Okay, so we're good. Okay.
Oh, I didn't bring an extra.
Just put it back. You're okay?
Yeah.
Oh, she didn't. Well, no. She didn't say anything? Oh, you don't know? I don't know. And Gloria? Yeah, we got Gloria.
I'm gonna have to step out, I think.
Hers too much?
Might be. Oh, yeah, I can hear.
That one from me.
Nice fella. Good to see you. Looking good.
This is changing.
I'm not convinced this mic is good.
The microphone?
Yeah. I'm not convinced it is.
Joyce, are you hearing us okay? Let us know.
Yes, I am.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
There's 21 people on.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending the board meeting today on the 17th of December. Again, this is a owners only meeting, so if we have any renters, we'll give them about 5 seconds to vacate. All right, looks good. Got a couple of stragglers coming in the door. All right, we're gonna call this meeting to order, and we'll start with the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, President Don Tucker,
Present.
VP Pat Hancock,
Here.
Paula Wilcox, Treasurer. Here. Sherry Boggs, Secretary. Joyce Weaver, here. Joyce Weaver, Member
Here.
of Board.
Present.
Present.
She's on a slight delay. Here, she said here.
Okay.
All right, we got the, next is the proof of notice. The undersigned Secretary of Ancient Oaks RV Resort and Condominium Association Incorporated does hereby verify that the notice of the meeting of Board of Directors dated December 17th, 2021 at 1 p.m. was posted at the office and clubhouse on the 2 locations upon the condominium property on December 15th, 2021, signed Sherry Boggs, Board Secretary, dated 12/15/21.
And we're going to do the approval of the November 18th meeting. The meeting was called to order by the president. We did a roll call. Proof of notice was attached. Approval of the March 25th, 26th regular meeting and March 26th recall meeting was discussed last time. Treasurer's report was given by Paula Wilcox. New business, the president, Don Tucker, read a letter of his opinion of pertaining to the upcoming election, which was that, you know, he would hope that people would put their ballots in and run to be part of the board.
Sherry, can I just make a motion to approve this type, so you don't have to read all that?
Okay, make a motion to approve.
I move to approve this type.
I second it. All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the meetings, minutes from the last meeting were approved. Next up is the treasurer's report.
All right, the treasurer's report as of November 30th, 2021. We had $334,011 in the operating checking account, $500 cash on hand, which brought us to $334,511. Our accounts receivable operating was $48,142, which gave us a total of $382,653.47. Our reserves, money market, and CDs is $836,235. And our social account, including bingo, pickleball, and peg group, is $35,571.03. Our November income was $3,800.13 over what we needed it to be, so $3,813 under budget, which brings us to a total for this year so far, $79,408 under budget for the year. Now the money that is, do what? I'm sorry? Somebody said something. Okay. The money that we ended up with last year that we were under budget, that went to help us get out of the debt that we were put into by previous administration. This year we look to be under budget again, but there are several things which will be in the manager's report that are going to have to be done this year or need to be done right away. So that money will help a long ways for not having to raise our maintenance again, hopefully, and no assessments. So good job, everybody, not breaking things, and we're under budget. LW is doing a fantastic job with that. He's doing very well with it. So that's it.
I move to approve the treasurer's report.
I second. Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, next up, we have 4 people who stepped up to run for the board. We're going to introduce them by name, and then we'll let them come up at the end and speak. And if those 4 members, I don't think Mr. Cook is here, unfortunately. If you want to hang around and maybe ask a couple of questions of the people that are running, we'll do that after they speak at the end. We kind of thought that maybe it would be nicer to actually be able to talk to them instead of just hearing about them when they come up and talk. So the 4 people we have are Paula Wilcox, our current treasurer, Sherry Boggs, our current secretary, and we have Mr. Wayne Cook, and to not slaughter George's name, I'm just going to call him George K. There he is. There's his hand. He's present. Okay, we'll go to the new business. If you're not aware, the voting ballots are ready to be picked up and mailed. And the ones that are not picked up pretty much by the end of the day, the end of the business day, will be mailed. So the rest that are not picked up, I think, were they brought? They're in the back. Kathy has them. So if you haven't picked up your ballot and you'd like to do so after the meeting, go see Kathy in the back. The next thing is the removal of the cardboard recycling. Unfortunately, we still have people who can't follow the sign, can't crush the cardboard down, continue to put unauthorized items in the can, leaving full boxes outside the can, which is causing the maintenance crew to have to do a little extra duty. So we pay, I'm going to throw out a rough number there. Annual for the recycling alone, just that one can that's back there, is approximately $7,500 a year. And this has been discussed over and over and over again. I brought it up at the last meeting. I even had the rules that I got from Waste Pro about what can be recycled and what can't, and the problems continue. Also, when unauthorized items get thrown in there, if they're caught by the truck driver because he has a camera on there, he videotapes the stuff as it's being dropped into the bucket, then there's an extra $80 fee per instance, which we've already got hit up for a couple of those. So we discussed it, and the board's in favor of removing the cardboard recycling altogether. Not only will that save us about $7,500 a year, but it'll also allow us to use that money towards other things. Like right now, we have a lot of new owners, and there's a lot of remodeling coming in, and so the waste the waste container is getting full very quickly, and we're starting to have to call to have that dumped at least twice a week. So we'll be saving some money. So I am going to bring it to the board for a vote, or I should say we're going to motion it to approve to remove the cardboard recycling container.
I make the motion, we remove the cardboard recycling container.
I second that motion.
All in favor? Aye. Also, at the last board meeting, we discussed a few of the rules and regulations. We are not making new rules. We are not doing anything like that. So we consulted with our legal team, and the revisions consist of the following. 1, clarifications in light of current laws or code. 2 is removal of or clarifying impractical or unused provisions. 3 is tuning up an architectural standard to make the standard easier or more practical in light of current available products. 4 is tuning up the policy regarding use of the clubhouse, which is owned by the association. 5 is cleaning up conflicting language, and 6 is other policy statements. So I'm gonna read through the existing rule and what it's being changed to, or what it's being tweaked to, as I would say. And we thought about voting on this all as one thing, but we decided we're gonna vote on each one as it goes along. So I will read each one, we'll bring it to a vote for the board, and then we'll move on. The first one is under the number 3, possession and occupancy, 6D. One-way streets are posted one-way, do not enter, and this must be obeyed by vehicles other than bicycles and golf carts. The new rule, or the new wording, will be one-way streets are posted one-way, do not enter, and this must be obeyed by vehicles, golf carts, and bicycles. See Florida Statute 316.2065 for bicycle laws. Emergency vehicles are excluded. Now, I have a little hard time with the bicycle thing myself. However, I'm going to tell you that the way it's written, we're actually opening up ourselves to a lawsuit by bicyclists, because if they're going down a one-way street and they get hit by a car, they're going the wrong way. The way it's written it says other than bicycles, when the Florida statute clearly says that a bicycle is considered a vehicle. Even though it doesn't have a motor, it's still considered a vehicle, and they still have to follow the same rules of the road as cars and everything else does. So I'm going to bring a motion that we approve this one.
I'll second it. But approve it.
Aye.
All in favor?
All in favor.
All in
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
Now that doesn't, can I say something?
Sure, go ahead.
That doesn't mean that you're gonna get a fine if you go down the street the wrong way on a bicycle. But it does cover the park if somebody's hurt going down the wrong way on a bicycle. So, just to clarify that, we're not out to give anybody a fine for it. That's not why we're doing it.
All right, this next one is a pretty easy one. It falls under 6 or Roman numeral 6, lot improvements, care and landscaping. It was number 12, was the restrictions on the use of the potable water. That is an old rule that was from a long time ago, but since we have the new water system here in the park, there's plenty of water, so we're just going to delete that one in the entirety, because we have had instances of people reporting on their neighbors for using too much water, and the rule is really not, it's just a non-existent rule. So we're just gonna take that one out altogether. So I motion to remove the restrictions on the use of potable water.
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Yep.
All right, the next one is about sheds. The existing rule falls under the site modifications or additions. It's number 7 on page 1. All sheds must have prior approval as to design, color, or placement. Shed size shall be a 4 by 8 foot or 5 by 7 foot. The new wording will be all sheds must have prior approval as to design, color, or placement. Shed size shall be a 4 by 8 foot, 5 by 7, or a 6 by 8. The second part of that is number 14 on page 2. That reads, all sheds shall be placed in accordance with Okeechobee County Regulation number 7.09.01. No shed can be located in the front or side yards and must not be less than 5 feet from the rear and 5 feet from the side of the lot line. The regulation also stipulates that there must be 6 feet between the shed and any other building, park model, or RV. On Lakes Hamrick, Frida, Eden, and Oaks, no sheds shall be allowed to be placed or built in water retention and flowage easements. When a shed not now in conformance is replaced due to age, natural catastrophe, etc., it will have to be placed according to Okeechobee County guidelines. The new wording shall be, all sheds shall be placed in accordance with Okeechobee County Regulation number 7.09.01. No shed can be located in the front or side yards and must not be not less than 5 feet from the rear, 5 feet from the side of the lot line, and must be on the cement pad. The regulation also stipulates that there must be 6 feet between the shed and any other building, RV, park model, or RV. On Lakes Hamrick, Frida, Eden, and Oaks, no shed shall be allowed to be placed or built in water retention and flowage easements. When a shed not now in conformance is replaced due to age, natural catastrophe, etc., it will have to be placed according to Okeechobee County guidelines, which as of 2015 requires shed flood vents if the property is in a flood zone. 1 Rubbermaid type vertical closet storage shed is permissible on the back of park model homes and must be secured either to the house or the cement pad. That Rubbermaid type was added because it really wasn't allowed and a lot of people have them. So a lot of people like them. So we added that on there just because it's not against the rules anymore. Also, with that, we are changing the resolution of the board regarding the storage sheds. The old regulation stated that they had to be of that wood type, you know, the ones that everybody has that are all rotting and et cetera, et cetera. And to keep it like that just didn't make any sense, because to find a shed like that is probably going to cost you a lot of money because it is made out of wood, and they make some really nice looking sheds now. So I could read the old one. I do have it. If you want me to, I will, but I'm just going to go to the new one. And it's mostly section 2 with a storage shed, building adjacent to an RV or park model must home must be 4x8, 5x7, or 6x8 and constructed to meet Florida and county ordinances. Shed placement must adhere to the Ancient Oaks rules and regulations. All sheds shall be placed in accordance with Okeechobee County Regulation number 7.09.01. No shed can be located in the front or side yards and must be not less than 5 feet from the rear, 5 feet from the side of the lot line. They must be plain in nature. One window is permissible. Shed porches, patios with a roof are not permissible. One Rubbermaid type vertical closet shed is permissible. All sheds must have a county permit as applicable to local ordinances and be approved by the board of directors or board appointed representatives. Shed color should be of similar color to the RV or park model. Section 3 is kind of the same. I left it in there. It says storage sheds that are freestanding shall never be painted. They must be protected with a clear coat of a sealer or other surface protector. No paint or color staining is to be used without prior approval of the board of directors. So I make a motion to
Question
approve.
on that.
Yes, sir.
I think it came up a while back that the drawing that the park's been offering for getting a permit is 30 years old, and the county won't accept that anymore. So is the builder, the lot owner that's going to do the building, are they responsible for getting an engineering approved drawing?
That or a pre-engineered built shed. That's what this is gonna allow, is you'll be able to purchase a shed and put it on your lot.
When I purchased my shed, now granted it's in Port St. Lucie, I went to a shed guy and he gave me the information and I just brought it to the county, and that was what was accepted because it had to be tied down. They had to inspect it, but it also came with the engineered specific information with it. And it was all hurricane rated by the state. It all met their standards and everything. So it was very painless for me to get a permit from the county. I'm kind of guessing that the same would be here in Okeechobee. I just bring up the flood events on the sheds because when I spoke with the county here in Okeechobee in 2015, they changed it. And if you're in a flood zone, like I mentioned, now LW, they also sent me a map for Ancient Oaks, and LW has a copy of that. And I will tell you that probably about 90% of Ancient Oaks is actually considered in a flood zone. So, I mean, unless you're gonna build your own shed, I would imagine that if you go to one of these local shed guys, they're gonna have the engineering specs for the county.
We have had an old set of drawings, was 30 years old, and we had Bill Crabtree re-engineered and had a set of plans that are probably only about 10 years old, and I have been giving them out lately. But once again, they probably don't apply anymore. But if somebody does have one engineered and would like to share the drawings with us so that if anybody else wants to do one like it, that we greatly appreciate. But does that clear up the?
I just wondered if you were going to have an updated drawing that people could use, but.
Yeah, if we get an updated drawing, get rid of these old ones and we'll just have a new updated one that people can go by. But this change allows any engineered type shed, as long as it meets county requirements, to be able to be placed on your lot. It meets all the other requirements.
Don Cook has a question about the grandfathering of current sheds.
Okay.
That's basically the question. What are you going to do about sheds that are already in place?
Well, let LW address that one. He knows more about it than I do, because I had a question of a couple of sheds myself that
Unless the county requires us to go through and eliminate the sheds, one that is sitting where it is will be okay. But if you move it, you'll have to abide by the new regulations. We have a lot of sheds. They're almost right up next to their park models, on pavers, which isn't allowed. So if it deteriorates and you want to, you want to move it, any big change to it, it'll probably end up being eliminated. Other than that, if the county doesn't require us to, they'll be grandfathered, okay, till they fall apart.
W, the last time that I was involved in building one, you had to have a hurricane-proof 8-foot door for Okeechobee County. Maybe that's changed, I don't know.
I believe it has to be a standard, the shed has to meet, and all the shed manufacturers in town, because, Kim, you talked to one, didn't you? And their shed meets the requirement, I don't remember what the size of the door is, but I believe it is a standard 36 by 80 or 30 by 80 door.
No, it's even larger than a 36. I think it's like a 40-inch door.
She's saying a 40-inch door should be 40 by 80. But the shed manufacturers have the ones that will be approved by the county. And then if you want to build one yourself, then you just have to get an acceptable set of plans and present them to the county. The counties don't want plans.
Go ahead, in the back.
As far as color, would you say similar color to the park model or RV?
Yes,
Okay, so you don't have to go with that.
that is correct. It still needs to be approved. It still needs to be approved. Okay, anybody else? All right, I'll make a motion to approve the changes to the existing sheds and sizes and the guidelines.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, there we have it. Okay, two more. This one falls under section 4 of the recreation and common facilities, that all guests may use these facilities only if they are accompanied by their residential host, and their presence does not, in the opinion of the condominium association, interfere with scheduled events. The new wording says all registered guests may use these facilities if their presence does not, in the opinion of the condominium association, interfere with scheduled events. Guests under the age of 16 must be accompanied by an adult. Second part to that is under 3, the possession and occupancy. Children under the age of 12 are not permitted to use the recreational facilities without being accompanied by an adult and must be 16 years or older to operate a golf cart, moped, or motor vehicle. New wording is children under the age of 16 are not permitted to use the recreational facilities without being accompanied by an adult and must be 16 years or older to operate a golf cart, moped, or motor vehicle. Okay, make a motion to approve the changes to the recreation and common facilities and possession and occupancy. Go ahead, if you have a question.
My name is Robert Smith.
Yes, Mr. Smith.
I have a question about my good friend, Moo Cochran,
Okay,
Mr. Shuffleboard.
Mr. Shuffleboard.
His plaque was sitting in the yard where everybody could see it. Now it's pinned to the wall under the gutter. Why was that plaque moved? Moo Cochran deserves all the credit he can get.
The shuffleboard
Been
plaque?
a loyal member of Ancient Oak Park.
Are you talking about the shuffleboard plaque? The shuffleboard plaque where we named
This
it after him?
plaque that was sitting in the yard honoring Moo Cochran, Mr. Shuffleboard.
When we placed it
Why was
in
it
place, when we put
moved?
it up,
Can't see it.
it was never in the yard. I'm sorry, I don't know what you saw, but it was never in the yard. It was in my house until it was attached to that shed up there.
When we did the ceremony on his birthday over the summertime, when we took him out there and we had it already hanging and it was covered and he just pulled off the covering. As far as I know, it's never been, that's the only place it's ever been hung.
It needs to be put back where you can honor Moo.
Okay, we will look into that one. Okay, back to the recreation common facilities and possession and occupancy. I motion to approve the changes to those two areas.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Joyce is good.
Yep, there she is.
Okay, and the last one is falls under the renovation and other work, that no construction, renovation, or other work involving a contractor or other hired person is permitted before 8 a.m. or after 5 p.m. on weekdays. No construction, renovation, or other work involving a contractor or other hired person is permitted on Saturdays and Sundays. Homeowners may work on holidays and weekends without contractors between 8 and 5, keeping noise to a minimum. The new wording is, no construction, renovation, or other work involving a contractor or other hired persons is permitted before 8 a.m. or after 5 p.m. on weekdays. No construction, renovation, or other work involving a contractor or other hired person is permitted on Saturdays, Sundays, or holidays. Homeowners may work on holidays and weekends without contractors or other hired persons between 8 and 5, keeping noise to a minimum. Park maintenance employees are allowed to work between 5 and 8 on weekdays and on Saturdays. No Sundays or holidays between 8 and 5 for homeowners and are not considered in the contractor or paid person referenced above. Emergency repairs do not fall under this rule, which is air conditioners, leaking roofs, stuff of that nature that needs to be repaired right away. On the existing last 2 pages, I found that it says no work is permitted by owners or contractors on weekends or holidays or after 5 p.m. weekdays without submission of a written request describing the work to be performed. The general manager must approve the request. And then it says to see documents in quiet enjoyment. Well, we found that one kind of contradicted the first one, because the first one says that as a homeowner, you can work on your home on weekends. And this one says you can't. So we went with the better one. So we're going to delete that part of it. It did have some questions, and I'm going to be honest with you. The reason why we're allowing the our hired maintenance guys to work on Saturdays is because they do not need to be escorted into the park, and they are found to be trustworthy to be here on their own. Whereas contractors and other hired personnel need to be signed in at the office, and then they're allowed to come into the park. Well, seeing that the office is not open on Saturdays, it's kind of hard to say that these people are allowed onto the park. So that's where that logic came from. Any questions?
Yes, Don, I have a report of one of the fire and maintenance employees coming back and working on Saturdays. I want to make sure that that statement does mean current maintenance employees and not past maintenance employees.
That is correct. And I've also been asked the same question, and I think when I was reading it, kind of addresses that. So only our employed maintenance guys will be allowed to work on Saturdays. If it's somebody that was employed here, they probably can get a license and maybe they can come during the week and sign in, like everybody else is supposed to. So that could be a solution to that. Any other questions? I motion to approve the wording as changed.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that takes care of the new business. Now we will do the suggestion box before the manager's report. We're sneaking that one in on you.
Okay, we have a suggestion from Tricia Gerardo, I think, Gerard. She's speaking for readers of the library books that, the morning water aerobic class. I can't even read half of this.
Maybe I can help. The morning water aerobics class brainstormed several ideas to refresh the library. Our biggest concern is the expensive hardbacks are disappearing. This is a senior citizen park. I believe we should replace the paperbacks, which have very small print, with hardbacks. We should always keep our hardbacks unless damaged. We have several ideas to refresh and create more shelves. I would love to share. She was told by several newcomers to the park that it was the best library they've seen in a park. Together we can make it a great one. Thanks, Tricia.
Okay, do we buy the books or are they donated? I thought they were donated, Pat?
All the books are donated. I would love to keep all the hardbacks that we get in, but we don't keep duplicates because we don't have room for them. There's absolutely not enough room in there. And you would be amazed at some of the content, or not content, but the condition of some of the books that we get in. We've had animals crawl out of them,
Yeah.
which is a surprise. And it's, I mean, some of them are alive, some of them are gone, just crushed, whatever. And as far as the paperbacks are concerned, again, if we had room, we'd keep more, but we don't have the room. And I would love to have a bigger library. What I would really like to do with a library is to take all of the large print books and put them in a specific place, whether they were hardcover or paperback, because we are all of an age where a lot of us need large print to read. And it would be nice to have them in a specific location, but again, I don't need the room.
Well, yeah, obviously my eyes, I was having trouble reading this cursive that it's all just going together on me. So, yeah, the social committee, I think, has some plans to redo shelves or something I've heard in there, but, so you guys know that they want some more hardback books. I talked to LW about this. I'm not sure if it got fixed. It said the fans in the clubhouse don't work. Please fix them. LW said we had one out at the time.
Yes, as far as you know, it's just one of these over here, and we will get that replaced.
Okay, thank you. Another suggestion that I got from Alma Clark, I'd like to suggest that the smoking area in front of the office on the porch be moved around the corner to the front of the building facing Route 441. More than once, I've walked through someone's smoke and I was walking from the mailroom to the office, and as a non-smoker with health issues, I prefer not to be exposed to it. Thank you, Alma Clark.
Well, even though I do smoke, I agree with Aloma. I think that one ashtray right outside the office needs to go. And even the tall one down at the corner by the mail rooms, we need to find a better place for it. Because we shouldn't be within 50 feet of the front door of the office. So we'll work on that.
And that's it for now. Thank you for your suggestions.
Okay, we'll move on to the manager's report.
Your turn, your turn.
Move this over a little bit so I'll get in within the camera. Am I in the camera? No, not yet. A little bit more?
Wait a minute, LW, because there's a little bit of a delay.
Oh, that's true.
You're not in.
Not in yet?
Another 2 feet.
How about there?
No.
Why don't you come stand back over here?
Now you're good.
All right. Just a big welcome back to those that have been gone, Northerners. Welcome back to Okeechobee and Ancient Oaks. Yeah, welcome back to those that returned from the frozen north.
LW, excuse me for a minute. We have a comment about getting mulching attachments for the lawnmowers.
Motion for what?
Attachments for the lawnmowers.
Mulching attachment for the lawnmower.
To mulch the grass up because it's from the.
Well, that has not, we don't had a suggestion for that. We use a blade that has a lift on it, but not specific mulching blades. Most mulching blades create extra lift and extra oomph, and with a mulching blade, we would probably be throwing more stuff against the side of houses, and people wouldn't like that.
Talking about the bags, I think, right?
And I don't think we have a problem with actual leaves in people's yards where we would need a mulching blade, so. If that person would send me an email, and we'll discuss it, and if they have any specific suggestion, we'll go over that.
And one more comment, someone is pointing out the great library that Okeechobee has as a resource.
Oh, and, yeah, just a motion that if ours isn't adequate, there's a great library uptown. That you can go to, free too. You have to get a library card. So here goes my report. It's not too big this time. I trust that everyone appreciates all the improvements that the maintenance crew that we've been working on around the park. I think we're trying to do, it's little things, like the new signs and other improvements, trying to get the appearances up and make improvements without, and I've been able to do that and stay under budget. So I have to spend a little bit of money. Mainly, appreciate Chris is the leader of the maintenance crew. He's been doing a real good job. We've been changing some lights. We do it on ourselves instead of having an electrician do it. And it's been big improvements on the looks of the park. So thanks to the maintenance crew, and I hope everybody appreciates how it takes us just that you may not notice it, other than when the signs are looking all shabby. You don't really notice it, but it has an effect on the overall appearance of the park. I am under budget, and we have some money in the account, but we have some big ticket items that we really need to address. All these windows here in the clubhouse are probably original ones with the clubhouse from 1985. I believe that's when the clubhouse was built. I have a picture of the wooden framing going up. They're inefficient, and really we should have impact windows. It would not bring us up to any shelter status, but at least it would be safer, and the maintenance crew wouldn't have to put up shutters and take down shutters. This last season we didn't have to, but that is a consideration. Also on the clubhouse and on the office, when they built these, they built with the wood just about to the ground. If you go out here, especially over on this side, and then around that in the back, and then here, you notice that the wood is deteriorating where it's next to the ground. We will have to remove at least that portion, make sure that the wall behind it is in good shape, and replace it with some other material that won't be affected by water. And that's not going to be cheap. And that's something that, in order to get it done quickly, we'll need to hire that being done. And the windows, I dare say, that we'll reduce the size of it, but there'll be at least $1,000 a window minimum. That's just the price of the window. So that's a big ticket item. Also, we need to seal and repair the asphalt roadway in the center. And then also the pool deck is, the concrete's been moving just enough that it needs to be taken up. And I'd like to see it concrete again instead of the tiles, which end up becoming trip hazards. So anyway, those are a couple of items that we're looking at, and that's why it's good to have an extra amount in the budget, and we'll be able to do those without a fee, see if I can get the words out correctly. We won't charge you anymore for your maintenance fees, okay? We'll try to do it that way, and by staying under budget and watching our pennies and nickels otherwise. Okay, just a few, I'd like to reemphasize some safety concerns we went through with the one-way streets, but please stop at all stop signs, and it includes bicycles. You should stop at the stop signs, and I have to admit, the other day, I was on my golf cart, and I checked one way and checked the other way, and I didn't recheck my other way, and I almost pulled out in front of Blanche. She honked her horn at me, right with the golf cart, so Well, I mean, I'm talking to myself too. Obey the stop signs, look both ways, especially coming into the park. I know I'm probably preaching to the choir here because everybody does it. Stop at the gate. The unit's up, stop. It won't come down if you're sitting there because it's got the magnetic strip or magnetic pickup and it won't come down again. But if you try, get used to going buzzing through it, it may start the motion to come down. And there was at least one time somebody's car got hit. So please stop at it. And also as a safety concern, to cross traffic, especially at meal time. Obey the one-way streets, 15 miles an hour. And sometimes even 15 miles an hour is fast if there's people walking in that. So that's it. The other item that we're working on or re-emphasizing is start making plans now how you keep the outside of your unit clean and neat when you're gone. Those that are snowbirds, please get a plan for that because we really need to not let places get overgrown while you're gone. So, and I got some ideas that before the end of the season that we may implement that will help along that line. So I wish everyone a safe and healthy Merry Christmas, and that's my report. Thank you.
See you next year.
Okay, we really don't have any old business. So we are going to ask Miss Jackie to come up to give us a social committee report.
Good afternoon. I'm Jackie Bailey, and I am the Vice President of the SAC Committee. Some of our committee members are present. Virginia Chase is in the back, and I see Diane DeYoung just joined us. Virginia is our secretary. She's busy working on the ACORN for January. Diane DeYoung is here. I believe Joanne Butler, or did she disappear in the card room? Pat Tolma is here, our treasurer, and Dennis Bailey is here. So we have been super busy since we arrived 2 weeks ago, getting lunch up and running and figuring out all the magic that Marlene and May performed to make all that happen. But our first lunch is going to be January 6th here in the clubhouse, hamburgers, hot dogs, cheeseburgers. And the breakfast is going to be following that Saturday on January 8th. We are excited. We have 3 concerts coming in January. They were actually booked in 2019 for 2020. And of course, that all had to end. But we've signed contracts with them for this year. So the first one is actually Richard Pryor, who lives in our park and is a professional blues singer. And that's going to be a free concert to kind of say, welcome everybody back and get people together and get over the blues of last year's COVID incidents. We have a big concert coming. We've kind of gone out on a limb here. We've never booked this big an act. They have 5 musicians, and it's a tribute to the Bee Gees. This band previously played at the KOA. Very good band. Our tickets are going to be a little more. They're $18 for this one because it's a $3,000 concert for us. So we would appreciate your support. If you like the Bee Gees, it's guaranteed to be a great performance by them, I believe. And then later in the month, we have a Celtic dance team and Blazing Fiddles coming on the 29th of January. So that's our entertainment schedule for January. We have some needs with the SAC committee, and you'll see more about it in the ACORN, but there aren't enough of us to make all this happen efficiently. We've got some events coming up in February. We've got a style show. We've got a 50th anniversary. We need people to step up and say, I'm willing to help organize or make these wonderful events happen. 5 people cannot do lunches and breakfasts every week and do all the stuff that goes along with it, tell you through. The other thing we need is, I kind of came into the SAC committee. In fact, I was just telling my husband, 4 years ago, I used to kind of sit on the edge of the boardroom door and do the entertainment. I realized Marlene was overwhelmed people wanted better entertainment, so I just started as a volunteer doing the entertainment and scheduling acts. Little did I know, 4 years later, here I am sitting with Marlene and May both gone, and Dan Dernick and Pat Gerard gone, that all of a sudden, I'm vice president and all this is falling on me. I can't do the entertainment for next year. So I need somebody that loves to surf the web, find acts, bring them to the SAC committee, and kind of make it happen for next year. So if you have any interest in that, please get a hold of me. Last thing is, we have cupboards in the card room back here. And 2 weeks ago, I discovered, along with Pat Talma, that the locks were broken on 2 of the cupboards. Today I went in to check, and the locks have been fixed. Magic. And LW didn't do it. Now, the bad news is I don't have a key to get into the cupboards. So if somebody knows who the little elf was that came and fixed the locks, I'd love to hear from them. And last but not least, I believe today is the last day to contribute a Christmas donation up in the office for our maintenance crew and staff. If you can do that, it'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you. Questions?
Hey, Jackie.
A question for you here. When is the BG's?
The Bee Gees is the 17th of January.
Jackie, I did have one question. Richard Pryor, is he gonna be an outside concert?
No, Richard Pryor is going to be in here. I'd like to do it outside, but it's going to be close to dark and the uneven grounds, unless we actually did it in a parking lot. So I think we're going to do it inside. We will try and space out the chairs. We're asking people to get a ticket in the traditional Tuesday, Thursday setup that we have, only so that will allow us to get a feeling of how many people are attending. And we'll be able to spread the chairs out accordingly, but we certainly will try to do that. Anything else?
Yes, yes. Your husband.
Oh. Yes.
Can you bring up the situation with the directory?
Oh.
Speaking to the microphone.
There are plans in place, Dennis is getting involved in it, to have another picture directory as we did 5 years ago. And Diana Souza has volunteered to help, as Bob Siri did 5 years ago, in setting up and scheduling picture appointments here. And we won't have the books available at the close of our traditional season here in April, but they will be available when in the fall, winter season, next season. So you'll be hearing more about that. Does that cover it?
Just the reason, an explanation as to why the books will not be available this year is because the company that we've used in the past went out of business. And I did a lot of research trying to find another company that would do it. Finally came up with one called Universal Photography. So that's the reason.
They do church directories, so they're willing to come in and hopefully work the same deal where they make their money when people buy copies of the portraits that they take. And then supposedly, as I understand, the books will be free of charge for us when we buy them if you get your pictures taken. Okay, right?
Yep.
Okay. Any more? There's a lot going on.
Thank you.
Yes, we have a question in the back. I think that's Miss Virginia.
Yes, it is. Going back to the recycling, we're going to continue, I just want to clarify, to recycle the plastic bottles.
No, that container is gonna be removed.
So the.
No cardboard, no plastic.
Okay.
The paper one will stay. The cardboard and plastic one is the one that's gonna be removed. Because the paper one, they don't charge us to come and get.
Okay, well, that's why I wanted to clarify, because it's only set as cardboard.
Right.
So I wasn't sure if we would still continue to do the plastic.
No, the current container takes plastic bottles and cardboard. So that one will be removed. So the only thing that you'll be able to put in out there will be the normal paper, newspapers, office paper in the other container. And then the aluminum cans you can put on the far side of the compactor, because that's a service that I believe our maintenance guys perform for us. They make a little bit extra cash money on the side. I don't know what aluminum's going for these days, but, it's not much, but, you know.
Okay, well, thank you for clarifying.
All right, well, thank you.
Otherwise, I would have been trying to put my bottles back up there.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna allow the potential board candidates to speak for up to 3 minutes each. I believe we'll start with Miss Sherry Boggs.
Do you have the timer set like bingo?
You want me to set one?
Yeah. I'm Sherry Boggs. I live on 51st Street, block 24, lot 10. And the reason I'm running for the board is I was asked to step up and be on the board last year during the recall. And I went ahead and did it because I kind of missed work. I was thinking about maybe going and volunteering some places. So I decided to go ahead and step up and try it. And I decided I really liked it. I love working with LW and the rest of the staff and the board that we currently have now. We have worked really hard together. And as you can see by the rule changes and things that we're working on, we're just not working a few months in the wintertime. I am full-time here, but I do leave the end of May and I don't come back until the end of July because I take our motor coach and we go visit our grandkids. My objective is to live in a park and an environment that we take care of, that we all get along. We all have a vote. And I think we all need to be heard. There's 686 of us times 2 with your spouses. And so that's a lot of people to try and please. We're not going to please everybody, but we can work towards unity and keeping our park as a 5-star. We have an excellent staff and I just want to continue being part of that. My credentials are that I was in the Air Force. I worked as a dental assistant in oral surgery for 16 years. And of course, the Army decided they were going to close Fort Harrison. So I needed a job and there wasn't any jobs available in the government there. And I wasn't going to give up my government career. So I moved to Fort Knox and I couldn't get a dental job. So I got placed there in the logistics. Didn't even know what logistics meant at the time. Okay. And I'm in my late 30s. So I started out as a logistics clerk at the very bottom of GS5. And I had to work my way up into the supply technician as a GS7, then a logistics management specialist as a GS9. And then I worked my way up to logistics management specialist as a brigade deputy S4. Anybody that you know that. So I was sent to many schools for leadership. I had 10 battalions out there in 10 different states that we had to support. And my job was to go out and inspect them to make sure that they were in compliance with regulations. So dealing with 718 is nothing new to me because I'm used to working in regulations and reading them and tweaking them and all of that. I don't want to go on and on. Is my 3 minutes up yet? Actually, I used to do this in front of commanders all the time. And for some reason, I've been a nervous wreck today. I couldn't even eat.
Ding, 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 ding.
Ding, ding, ding. So anyway, if you vote for me, I continue to work with the staff and LW and the current board that we have and any of our new board members. I look forward to it. Thank you very much.
I guess next up is Miss Paula Wilcox.
Well, I'm Paula Wilcox, and as everybody can see, they consider me a treasure in the office. Just saying. I'm on block 24, lot 7. And they asked me last year in December to step on the board, and I don't think hardly anybody on that board even knew who I was, really. But knew I had some background in treasury and financial background. Now, I'm not near as qualified for anything as Sherry is. You know, I like working with figures. I was a mathematics major in college, And I like tweaking numbers and watching things do stuff. Now, one thing a lot of you probably know about me is I don't have a huge filter. I say pretty much what I mean, and whatever comes to mind at the moment. But I do try, especially on Facebook now. Usually I won't answer nothing on Facebook till 24 hours. I have to sleep on it and think about it. But one thing that I get a lot from, especially the new people in the park, not necessarily the younger people in the park, it's the newer people coming in, is they love, the first time they saw the park, this is where they wanted to be. And we want to keep it that way. But we don't want to get it,
That's your alarm.
we don't want to be stale. Is that my we don't want it to go stale on them either. We don't want everybody to get complacent and like I've told several, we did not buy into a YMCA youth camp. We are adults. We're supposed to be 55 and over. And some of us, forget that we're over 21. So, this park is great. We came down to look for a place in Okeechobee. This is the only place we looked when we bought. And that's what I want for everybody that comes through the gates, is to say, well, this is the place I want to be.
I want to hear everybody, always. As far as decisions go, if you do vote for me and I do get elected onto the board, I got big ears and I'll be quick to listen and I'll be slow to speak. That's one thing about me, and there's a few here that do know that about me already.
George, one moment.
Yes.
We lost sound for just a couple seconds, so I hate to ask you, could you start over again?
Yeah, we lost all of your presentation. A lot of
Am I
people
speaking
were
too loud?
asking for
How
it.
about I get away from that?
No.
Oh, okay.
You need it. I'm sorry.
All right, LW. Now we're even. Okay.
Are you a full timer?
Yes, that's what I was getting to. I am a full timer, and I'm on block 2, lot 17, right next to Geary Sargent. Everybody knows Geary, most part. Wonderful people next to me there. Everybody's wonderful, and I want to be an asset to this community. I have fallen in love with it in just four quick months that I've been here. I'm from Palm Beach County. I've lived there most of my life. I've never been a board member. My background is mostly heavy construction, welding, fabricating. But anything that I've done, I have excelled in and always became a leader in small departments. I mean, 15, 20, 25 people. Along with that, I know I can make a difference. And again, I think the most important thing is to be fair and listen to everybody and evaluate what is said. And to me, and always that way as far as being fair. And I just, this would be the first time I ran for anything of this caliber, let's say. So I'm a little bit nervous, but once I get to know everybody a little better, I'm sure I'll be more comfortable. And what else more can I say is, other than the bottom line, what you get with me is fairness, just the ability to sleep on things, like Paula did say about going on Facebook and making any comments. So that's me in a nutshell. And I just look forward to working with everybody and the groundskeepers, Chris and the crew. You guys do a great job. I love you guys. And of course, LW, just a short time that I've known him, he's doing a fabulous job. I can tell he really cares about this place and this community, and I love this place as well. So I thank you and look forward to meeting everybody. Thank you.
I don't know if it's possible, and I don't even know if Mr. Wayne Cook is on watching or not, but I don't even know if we could have sound with him or not. Otherwise, he could speak too, but unfortunately, the technology is not there, I guess, and he's not present. So that's all we have today for you. So I have a question. Yes, Ms. Jackie?
I forgot one item. We are going to have a meet and greet on January 4th, I believe, on a Tuesday morning for people that are new in the park, for people that have been in the park and have questions. We'll have some of the board of directors here, bring the meeting close, some of the SAC members, some of the park enhancement group hopefully will be there. We'll talk about some procedures, how things happen in the park, like the library, new people coming in, how do you check out a book? You just go in there. How do you buy a ticket to a concert or something like that? Questions like that. So we'll have coffee and some kind of treat to go along with at 9 o'clock.
And Jackie,
Yes.
I don't know if I'm on or not, but something I was thinking about too, because a lot of your volunteers are gone or not volunteering right now, kind of like a job fair. Maybe if you have LW send out one of his notifications on dial call, and you have a time for people to come up here and sign up to help with breakfast or lunch or any of these events, it might help.
Thank you.
Let's get some new people engaged.
Great idea. I would love to get some of the new people engaged. You don't have to have been here for 10 years to volunteer. We'll help you. I really need some head people for some of these events coming, because there's only so many hours in the day I can.
Yeah, let's maybe put that on the agenda after Christmas to try and get that done.
Sounds good. Thank you.
I see somebody waving in the back. Oh, packets. Okay. Don't forget, if you haven't gotten your packet for your ballot, see Kathy in the back. I think they're actually free this year, which is a good thing. And then the rest will be mailed. So that is all that we have for you today. So I move to adjourn the December 17th board meeting.
Second. All in favor?
All
Aye.
in favor? Aye. Okay, as a last minute thing, does anybody have anything else they would like to say? We usually have an open mic at the end, so I don't know if not, then, you're also free to stick around. I don't know if Mr. George is gonna run away, but Paul and Sherry will be here. If you have any questions you want to ask them, you're more than welcome to stay for a few minutes. Thank you very much. You all have a wonderful afternoon and a great weekend. And a Merry Christmas and a happy, safe, prosperous New Year. Woo!
We're good to go. Thank you. No, I didn't open it today. Sorry. Yes, sir. No problem. I'm gonna go see if Kathy needs help back there. Yeah, I checked it.
Just a question off the top of my head. Have you read anything in our bylaws about a person building a small CBS home? That'd be, block, right? CBS. I couldn't think if somebody asked me that question.
I think because of Florida statutes, because it isn't RV park,
Yeah.
and that's why you can only buy park permits.
Okay.
So I don't think you build a CBS.
Okay. I was asked that. So. Yeah.
The little part, needless to say, Diane and I are gonna make a new route for riding our bikes, so I'm glad you are doing that. You have that for me?
Yeah, I know it's not for you, but I need I couldn't email you. I didn't have my new email address.
Let me write it down.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, the Bloodmobile will be here at the end of next
Yeah.
month, and I need to write up something.
Yep.
Also, I was talking to LW about it. They can go on Facebook, but I don't have anything to